Okay, sit yourself onto your left and then come into a good cross-legged position and just find yourself on the floor. That sounds like a strange thing to say, doesn't it? But find yourself, just observe where you are, observe how you feel. Just spend a moment just to gather yourself together. So without over trying, just observe the balance of the seat bones. Breathe in through the nose, fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top, and empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. Hold onto your knees and pull against the knees so that you can elevate the heart area up a little more. Just go back to the seat bones, observe how you were sitting, whether you're sitting on the feet in such a way that the seat bones feel even. Just gather your attention into this precise moment now. And if your mind is distracted by external thoughts of the past or the future, then just draw your attention into the breath. Focus on the movement of the breath, the physiology of the breath. Observing how the chest raises upwards and outwards with the in-breath, and how the chest and the ribs relax with the out-breath. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Push the palms firmly together and lengthen your armpits away from your elbows. Elbows towards the heels of your hands, heels of the hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Just spend a moment to observe how your body feels and what your body wants. Feel the skin from the face to the feet. Feel the skin as it touches the air. Draw your attention into the flesh below the skin, into the muscles below the skin, into the bones. Focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Consciously maintaining the balance of the seat bones. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Be conscious of the energy that you have inside at this precise moment in time, just as a template for where we go later. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, the palms face upwards, connecting the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom and physical intelligence, just the ability to consciously draw your attention into the physical moment, and peacefulness that we can carry forward into our practice as an intention. Raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open, and then hold on to your knees. Consciously elevate the heart area to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose, and then with an exhalation, turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, ribs and your shoulders. Listen to the breath. Then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the left with the exhalation. Just observing your body's response to the pose. Just listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. And then gently come back to the center. Lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down. Just spend a few moments listening to the breath. Just feeling the sensation of the chest expanding. Try and expand into the armpit chest as well as the front chest. To the back chest as well as the front chest. So you really maximize the air touching the sides of the ribs, sides of the lungs. So without controlling the breath too much, just observe how the breath interacts with the lungs. Just come down onto your seat bones, sit back on your heels, lift up into the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Let the legs just settle into the floor, and then consciously push the shin bones into the shin skin so that the thighs respond, the thighs activate. And then when the thighs activate, you can really elevate up into the spine, up into the heart area. So in the heart area, I mean the middle of the chest, the center of the chest, not kind of just off to one side. Lift up into the chest. Try and maintain the connection between the seat bones and the heels as you come forward. And then spread the fingers, spread the palms. Bring your forehead down. If bringing the forehead down makes you lose contact between the seat bones and the heels, then have a block underneath your head. If you still can't maintain the connection between the seat bones and the heels, put a block between the seat bones and the heels, or a folded blanket. Listen to the sound of your inhalation and exhalation. Feel the physical body in 3 dimensions. Kind of sandwiching of the legs. So feel how the thighs are sandwiched between the shins and the calves and the abdomen. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Lift your head. Keep your right hand where it is. Thread the left arm underneath the right armpit, and then bring that shoulder down to the floor if you can. Try and keep the seat bones down, but they will probably lift. But do your best to keep them down, and then really activate the arms. Activate the right arm as in Adho Mukha Virasana, and press that left arm firmly into the floor, like you want to push it through the floor. So that you open up the action of the shoulders. Roll the chest down towards the floor, and you open up in the inner shoulder blade region. It's a really difficult area to penetrate into, so it's a good action to open up the shoulders, or the shoulder blades at least. Stretch the arms forwards, sit back on your heels again, come down into Adho Mukha Virasana. Lift up into the chest, keep your left hand where it is, thread the right arm underneath the left armpit, keeping that right arm straight. Bring the shoulder down if you can, bring the head down if you can. Keep both arms really firmly activating. The right hand pressing it into the floor like you want to push it through the floor. The left arm just staying in Adho Mukha Virasana. Try and keep the seat bones down. Roll the chest down towards the floor. Feel how you prise open those shoulder blades. And then just come back into Adho Mukha Virasana, pressing, stretching both arms out in front, sitting down on the heels, and then bringing the palms, bringing the forehead down, bringing the palms into the floor, spreading the fingers, spreading the palms. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and push yourself up just to sit back on your heels. Just spend a moment just to observe, just from Adho Mukha Virasana and the variations, how the energy of the chest and the shoulders have changed. Bring the hands behind you so that the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. Fingers pointing forwards towards the knees. Let me come forwards a bit. Got off the shot. So hands underneath shoulders. And then I want you to push your hands consciously into the floor and then lift the skin of the wrists up into the elbows and up into the armpits. So make sure you lift up and open the chest. Now you might just want to stay here, but if you want to go any further, then turn the tailbone in. Feel that supta virabhadrasana action on the thighs. Turn the tailbone in. If there's no problem with your back, then lift the tailbone away from the floor. If there's no problem with your neck, then extend the chin away. But keep the hands pushing into the floor, lifting from the wrists up into the armpits. And then come back down. And then just sit back on your heels. So a little paryangasana variation. Just feel the energy of the arms. Feel the energy of the thighs. Just observe how you're waking up the body with action. If you're doing dog down, then come onto all fours. If you're not, then go into baddangulyasana. Step the feet back for dog down, and then come up into advisable or into dandasana. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Have the feet for dog down as wide apart as the mat. Have the hands as wide apart as the mat. For dandasana, have the feet either together, or sometimes it's good to have the feet hip width apart if it's the first pose. So just be in the pose, whichever one you are doing, and allow the mind to occupy the physical body. Activate the legs, tighten the kneecaps, press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, lift the fronts of the thighs up towards the tops of the legs, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. In dandasana, you're pressing the fronts of the thighs into the floor. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, allowing the breath to maintain your attention. Feel the body in 3 dimensions through the response to the pose. There's usually a pretty strong response to the pose in dog down, especially the first one of the session, especially after we have been conscious of the energy that we have already released. So spend some time listening, breathing, focusing. Step your feet forwards. Just come up into the standing position, and then bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. Have some blocks for your hands if you're uncertain as to how well your back will cope with a forward bend. So if you've got an ongoing back injury, then you'll just go into bringing your hands onto the blocks. Otherwise we'll go into full konasana. We'll go in the same way with the hands on the hips. So have the feet as wide apart as the mat. Feel that your heels are touching the outside edge of the mat. Feel that the little toes are touching the outside edge of the mat. Tighten the kneecaps. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards like you were doing in dog down. Lift the heart area to the ceiling. Walk the thumbs towards each other behind your back, and then wing the elbows towards each other. Lift up into the chest. Keep your head lifted as you hinge at the hips. Come in halfway to start off with. Hinging at the hips, keeping the head lifted. So as soon as you drop your head, you start to round your back and you'll hurt yourself. So you come halfway. If you're going to go into virabhadrasana, sorry, not virabhadrasana, what we're talking about, into half uttanasana, then reach down to the blocks. If you're going into full uttanasana, keep going down, but keeping the head lifted, keeping the heart area lifted. Come forwards, keeping the elbows winging towards each other until the head is facing the floor. And then release your hands. Bring your thumbs into the crease of the elbows. Wrap your fingers around your elbows and hang down, keeping the legs straight, tightening those kneecaps. Tightening the kneecaps. There's no extension in the spine without straight legs, so press the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Let the top of the body hang down. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, keeping the legs really firmly activated, like you're trying to lift the shins out of the ankle socket, trying to lift the kneecaps away from the shins, trying to lift the thigh bones up into the hip socket away from the kneecaps. Okay, release your hands down to the floor and then just come into half uttanasana for a moment. Use the blocks if you need them. Keep the legs straight, hit the fronts of the legs through to the backs of the legs so that your weight goes into your heels, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. And then bring your hands into your hips and then come up into a standing position. And then move the blocks out of the way and then come up into Tadasana. So be in Tadasana, have the inner edge of the feet together. Just lift out of the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs. And turn the fronts of the legs inwards. Push the inner knees away from each other. Lift the inner knees up towards the groins to lift the insteps. Tuck the tailbone in without disturbing the legs. Pull the abdomen towards the spine, lift up into the chest. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Bring your arms out nice and wide into, bend your elbows, bring your hands in toward your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Just feel the body in 3 dimensions, expanding out from the heart area into the arms, from the hips down into the legs, from the feet up into the hips, up into the chest. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out. Keeping the chest facing the front, keeping the legs dead straight, and then reach down, find the shin. Look Turn the chest up to face the ceiling. Reach towards the ceiling. Turn the abdomen up to face the ceiling. Just look down. Is your head directly over the foot? If it's not, then make some adjustments. Draw the front leg buttock bone forwards, lift into the chest. Come back to the centre. Swap the feet around, turn the right toes in. Left leg and foot all the way out. Just make sure that the heels are in line. This heel is in line with the instep or the toes of the back foot. Turn the fronts of the thighs outwards, opposite way to trikonasana. This is trikonasana. Opposite way to tadasana. So in tadasana, we turn the legs inwards. In these forward facing standing poses, we turn the legs outwards, the opposite direction to tadasana, because that helps us to bring the hips into line. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Lifting from the feet into the hips into the feet, the hips into the chest, into the neck, into the head down into the hips, the heart area into the arms into the heart area. Come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump. Feet back together, come back into tadasana. Just observe how clear the sinuses feel after trikonasana. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Softening the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump the feet a little wider than last time. Turn your left toes in and your right leg and foot all the way out. Again, we're facing forwards, so this is forwards. So you've got to turn the legs outwards rather than the tadasana action of turning them inwards. Turn them outwards, especially this front leg. This front leg is the real priority because that will help you to bring this hip in. So make a fist with your hand and push the fist into the right buttock. Lift up into the chest and then turn the chest to face the front. Keep your left hand on your hip. Keep the left leg straight and then bend the right knee. Keep pushing that hand into that fist into the buttock bone and find a right angle with that front leg, keeping that back leg really straight. Turning this thigh, turning the inner knee around to the outer knee. And then release the arms and stretch the arms out. Virabhadrasana 2. Maintain the breath, deep inhalations and exhalations. And then straighten the leg, release your arms for a second, and then swap feet around, turn the right toes in, left leg and foot all the way out. Again, make sure you're wide enough and that the heel is in line with the instep. the back leg, and then especially with this front leg, turn it outwards. Turn it from the big toe to the little toe. Turn this leg outwards as well, so that the hips come level. Keep your right hand on your hip. Bring the left hand into the buttock bone, and then bend the knee. Push in that buttock bone forwards. Turn the inner knee of that left leg around to the outer knee. Find a right angle. Lift up into the chest. Bring the chest to face the front. And then reach out, look over the middle finger of the left hand. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Listening to the breath. Soften the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Maintain the softness of the breath. And then straighten the front leg. Bring the feet parallel. And then step or jump your feet back together. And then come back into Tadasana. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So virabhadrasana gets the heart pumping a little harder. Just spend a little time in Tadasana to just observe the breath and to bring your breath back to normal. So whereas those forward facing poses, we turn the legs outwards, in Tadasana we turn the legs inwards. So poses where we come forwards over the legs, like parsva, you turn the legs inwards. Like virabhadrasana 1, you turn the legs inwards because we're kind of facing the legs. When the legs are wide, we're kind of facing away from the legs. So you turn the legs the other way around. So in Tadasana, turn the legs inwards, the fronts of the thighs inwards, so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Lengthen the tailbone down to the floor and in towards the front of the room, so that you feel that the bladder region lifts upwards. Lift the front of the pelvis up towards the abdomen up towards the diaphragm up towards the shoulders, draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Stretch your arms forwards, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Release, just swap the interlock of your fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and again raise your arms over your head. Baddangulyasana, third verb, baddangulyasana. And then release, just stretch your arms down, come back into Tadasana. So get yourself a blanket. Not everyone will need the blanket, but it's useful to have it handy just in case. So we're going to do malasana. So you might want the blanket and then you're going to put a couple of blocks on top of the blanket. Maybe have the blanket long ways so that you've got a bit more space. So this is just if your heels don't reach the floor. So in malasana, let me just quickly show you. You're going to sit on the blocks and then you're going to bend your knees. You're going to bring your heels onto the edge of the block, and then you lift off. So not everyone will need the blanket, but if you find it difficult to keep your heels down on the floor, and if you find it difficult to lift, then have the blanket and then the blocks on top, because it will give you a bit more space. If you really struggle to lift, then have some additional blocks at the side, and then just you can use those to push yourself away, and then you can come into malasana from kind of lift off that way. So just use whatever you need. Stretch your heels away. Have those additional blocks at the sides if you've got them. And then lift up into the chest, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Elevating the heart area to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then bend your knees, bring your heels onto the lift if you're using it, and then hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, trying to lift the abdomen up to the diaphragm, and then come forwards between the knees a little, raise your arms up, and then see if you can lift yourself off blocks. When you're there, turn the tailbone in, lengthen the abdomen to the diaphragm, keep the shoulders away from the ears, smile, breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, and keep reaching forwards, using the tailbone to counterbalance. Tuck the tailbone in, lengthen forwards. Ultimately, we're trying to bring the armpits lower than the knees, but not at the expense of over dropping. So keep extending into the seat bones, counterbalancing the arms. Okay, and then gently release, just hold onto the knees for a moment, lift up into the chest. Just feel the energy of the upper body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, and then just come into cross legs for a moment, just up on the lift. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Letting the breath settle. Okay, just one more time, come back. Bring your heels onto the blocks, onto the lift. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Lift up into the chest, reach up, and then swing yourself forwards, keeping your back as straight as you can to start off with, but then tucking the tailbone in, lengthening away, drawing. I always hunch my shoulders in this pose, so I have to always tell myself to lengthen the shoulders away from the ears, counterbalancing with the tailbone, drawing the tailbone inwards and down to the, almost down to the floor, but still hovering, lifting up. Let the knees come wide enough apart so that you can draw the lower ribs down the inner thighs, reaching forwards, reaching forwards. Okay, and then gently come back to the center. Just feel that energy in the upper body, and then cross the legs the kind of unnatural way. So you do swastikasana, but with the other leg in front. Lift up into the chest. Elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel that you are secure. If it doesn't feel very secure, then just move the blocks out of the way, or just move the blanket out of the way. Lift up into the chest, and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across. Drawing your abdomen across, and your ribs and your shoulders. Just digging the back hand into the blocks that you're sitting on. Using the out breath to intensify your turn. And then come back to the centre. Hold onto the knees, lift up into the chest, take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the left. And then gently come back to the centre. Just come off your lift and then come down onto the floor and down into supta baddangulyasana. Just come down onto your back, pull your feet in towards the seat bones, let the knees fall apart, let the body stretch along the floor. Just make sure that you're in a really good straight line. Let the knees fall apart. You can put blocks underneath the outsides of the thighs if there is stiffness in the hips. Raise your arms up, interlock the fingers into baddangulyasana, turn the palms all the way out, and then lengthen your arms along the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, have a folded blanket or some blocks underneath your shoulders. Otherwise, stretch your arms along the floor, drawing the abdomen to the spine. So try not to overarch in the lumbar. Draw the belly button to the spine, tuck the tailbone in towards the ceiling. Let the lumbar be soft. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Raise your arms to the ceiling, swap the interlock of the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and again release the arms along the floor. Push the heels together, push the outer edge of the feet together, push the big toes together. Activate the legs, turn the tailbone in and up towards the ceiling, lengthening the tailbone away from the lumbar. Bring the lumbar down onto the floor. Lengthen into the arm. And then gently release your hands, just rest your hands on your lower ribs. Just enjoy letting go into supta baddangulyasana. And then draw your knees together. Just have your knees together and your feet apart for a moment or two. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then get a folded blanket for underneath your head. Just come up onto your elbows, stretch your legs out, come up onto your elbows. Just make sure you're in a good straight line right down the centre of the mat. Have the blanket underneath the back of the neck and the head. Just move any equipment out of the way that's in the way. And then allow yourself to release down into the floor. Just letting the body relax. Letting the muscles of the arms and the legs unhook. Letting the limbs become heavy. Allowing and acknowledging that the physical body becomes heavy. Letting the muscles of the arms and the legs completely relax, allowing the body to become heavy and observing the sensation of physical lightness that radiates from the bones. Radiates from the bones and into the muscles and into the arms and the legs, to the muscles and the organs. To the flesh and the skin. That sensation of physical lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles, the organs, the flesh and the skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes, into the fingers and up into the top of the head. Basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And then when you're ready, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of sirvasana. Bend your knees in toward your chest, have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just gentle massage on the spine. And then roll over onto the right side. Stay down for a breath or two. Just spend a moment to just collect your physical body, and then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just final cross legs with the hands in Namaste, a final spinal lift, drawing your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath, bringing the breath into the abdomen, being conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and twists and the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside, and then to send some of that positive energy out into the world. Hold on to that feeling of abundance, and then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards, just bringing the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Gesture of wisdom and physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our day. Just very gently raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy, you've given yourself good positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.